Olympia, folks. Give me a break. On the good side of things, I've got 62,000 followers since I took that picture. Is that good? Okay. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your first finalist from Canada, Chris Bumstead.
All right, guys, so we switch back to alphabetical order with one of the favorites. Everybody's been waiting to see what condition he's going to bring to this year's Classic Physique.
I remember when I lost my mind.
Nice quadriceps right out of the gate. Tiny waist.
There was something so pleasant about that place.
Chris, to me, is everything that classic bodybuilding is supposed to be. It's a blend of muscularity, shape, refinement, an artistic, blend of muscle bellies.
Not to mention, it looks like he knows how to show it off. And that's a key element when you talk about classic physique, is the performance. This is what was lost in men's open bodybuilding. And the classic physique guys are bringing it back. I see the Bob Perez pose. I see some of the Labrada style poses. These guys are bringing back the old school posing, and it looks good on them.
And you know what sealed the deal on that Labrada style pose was the mustache.
Yeah, there you go. Lee was one of the few bodybuilders, along with Samir Banu and Ray Mincer, to get away with a mustache in open bodybuilding.
And I think it suits him, to be honest with you.
Well, he's been second twice to Breon, knocking on first door.
Yeah, and you said he's about 6 feet tall?
6'1".
6'1". Yeah.
Very tall for this class.
I think this is a better package in a better condition this year than slightly than last year. I think it's a better package. But I feel that Chris is still struggling a little bit in that back area as far as that thickness and muscularity.
Good eye.
Well, guys, didn't he have some adversity last year, some health issues that kept him from being at his peak?
Yeah, I think he has some form of immune system disease, which I feel impacts his ability to really push really hard on those final stages of contest prep.
Yeah, a lot goes in the final stages, and you got to sell out. If you're handicapped, it can wreak havoc on you. With a nice waist, right? The shoulder to the waist differential really sets this physique off.
Well, that side, look at how tiny that is. That side shot they just showed with the vacuum, the tiny waist, and those striated glutes was really impressive.
If you're an artist, physique artist, this is what you tune in for. This is why I love
Ladies and
classic
gentlemen,
physique.
please welcome from Costa Rica, Alex Cambronero.
So Alex is actually one of my competitors, one of my athletes, I should say. So Alex had a good, strong win. He went from 212 last year, weighing in at sort of 194 pounds. So it made a selective choice to step into the classic division. I feel that it was a really good fit for him.
Yes, he dropped down. I remember, did he win the Chicago, win the strip?
He actually won Pittsburgh Pro.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. And he was second in New York.
Right,
second in New York.
Coming in from the 212 down to classic was a very good move for Alex there. Neil, you work with him. Tell us about the neck condition that's going on with him.
I think he's had an injury in the past and a nerve impingement. So if his head goes straight, it impacts his vision. And for me personally, I find it pretty frustrating. People comment about his neck as opposed to looking at his physique.
Yeah.
Because he is a great athlete.
No, there's no question. There's just a lot of people have that question, want to know its origins. Kind of tilts his head to the one side all the time.
Now, what did you do from one show to the next to get him in this Olympia shape?
It was just basically a manipulation of food. I took him out of the gym quite a bit, to be honest with you, because we dieted for quite some time. Because obviously going into the Pittsburgh Pro, going into the New York Pro, took him out of the gym for quite some time, and then obviously we slowly transcended back into obviously pre-contest prep for this show.
Well, Neil, I'm not a trainer, but I recommended that he drop down into this classic physique, and I'm taking credit for that. Now that you have him on the straight and narrow, he's at the big show. He was a long ways away from actually arriving here, and he is representing very well.
But last year we came in as 212, we placed 8th, which is an amazing place, and seeing he was only 194 pounds.
Wow.
At 5'7", he's giving away like 16, 18 pounds.
I turned pro at that weight.
Yeah.
Now, how much can he carry at that height?
He's up to his maximum now,
Okay.
192.
And you know what? He doesn't need any more. If he goes any more, you go into the bottom of the 212. This is where he belongs. Healthy. Let's looks very good.
With the IFBB Pro League opening up this division, it's obviously opened up the ability for athletes to choose and step into a class that suits them.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from the USA, Longo.
Shades of 1991 Olympia in Florida. That's what I chose. Stanimal, by way of France. Trains out at Gold's Gym. A lot with Mr. Olympia Sean Roden out there in Venice Beach. One of the more likable guys. Told me earlier today that he missed his peak. And again, Neil, it is about timing, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely, because I saw pictures that he was posting on a social outlet leading to the show, and definitely sort of probably like 3 to 5 days ago. He looked like he was very much on, but that's the science, and I know sometimes your body doesn't do what it has done in the past, so everything's about a learning curve. So even for some of these athletes which have maybe missed their peak, if they can actually sort of hone in and find out what it is, it allows them to learn more about themselves.
And you know what? He's very good. He was telling me what he knew he had to do, and yet he still knew this was coming. This performance round was coming, and he's very content with what he brought, considering he missed his peak.
Well, and that's one of my favorite poses right there. Considering he missed his peak, guys, he's top 10 in a very, very stacked class.
And if you look at the Olympia's classes in general, everybody wants to try and crack that top 10, yes? And then you want to see probably get into that top 6.
Yeah, you can only imagine if he was 11th, it might be devastating considering he would not be able to perform this routine, and here he is on the main stage tonight.
And there's a lot of people in this packed house that wouldn't be able to air drum. Because that's mandatory.
Right, I remember.
In the air tonight.
Mike Tyson made that famous.
Do you know what's going to really be interesting is that even though he's missed his peak, he's still hard. He's still got a good level of separation and refinement. So it will be very interesting to see what the top 10 classic bodybuilders look like as far as condition compared to the open men.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from China, Chen Kang.
All right, this was the guy we were talking about, Neil. He's the very first Chinese athlete, period, to make it to the Mr. Olympia weekend. And it looks like, did he walk here with those quads? Do you see how big his legs are?
Okay, they call him Branch for a reason.
Yeah.
And now because he's part of a tree, because he's got legs like Branch Warren.
Good grief.
I really would like to see him potentially grow into the 212 division.
Yeah, he's definitely made for the 212 and could wreak havoc. But right now, slight film on the hamstring and on the backside, but he's got a very nice classic structure. But he looks like he's built for a body. I very rarely see Asians with legs that fully developed.
Yeah.
We're seeing something here for the very first. Actually, it's history.
Wow.
For the very first time, representing a whole country that has billions of people in it.
Now, Neil, having trained the 7-time classic, the 212 Olympian.
Yeah.
Do you actively recruit? Do you walk up to a guy like that and say, or do you wait for people to come to you and say, I'm ready to come to another level and I think you're the guy?
I've never asked an athlete to work with them because most athletes have trainers, and I would not be disrespectful enough to step on somebody else's toes. The way I look at it is, if an athlete is interested in working with me, then obviously I would certainly consider it if they come to me, but I certainly wouldn't go to somebody else. If this gentleman didn't have a trainer, I would love to take him under my wing, but I think he's working with George, I think.
Chen Kang, welcome. You put on a heck of a show and brought a beautiful physique to the table here for the.
Man, that kid's good.
FYI, the last guy, Stanimal, he's actually moving into the open bodybuilding
Ladies and
next year.
gentlemen, please welcome
This
from the
kid, if
USA,
he asked me, Chen Kang, I tell Chen Kang to go 212.
100%.
Now, Courage Opara is another guy that I first saw at the Upper Midwest Classic. Won that show. He looked beautiful, has a lot of great poses.
How about that name, Courage? Powerful.
A lot of pressure.
I think one thing which stands out here is very similar yesterday with the 212. The level of condition is so much better than what we've seen obviously in the open classes.
I really think it requires it, doesn't it? I mean, they both should have that level of conditioning, but this really, you have to bring the conditioning to this.
Yeah, because without it, you're just a performer, not a competitor.
But then let's go back when Sean was competing. Those athletes were in shape.
Yeah. Right. Now, you know, with this division being relatively new, again, they've got to find their niche. And this guy right now, he looks like a performer. He's posing very well. So that takes your eye off the conditioning. If you're watching as a fan at home, you're not really paying attention to the thin water, him maybe missing his peak, the hamstrings being a little bit watery. You're looking at him getting from one pose to the next, and that's what a true artist pays attention to. He's put in the work.
This is a great division for the IFBB Pro League to be giving these athletes, as I said, the opportunity to step into a division which really suits them instead of being forced into a box.
You take this division away, and some of these guys, we've never even heard of them before. Nice.
Courage Opara.
For Courage Opara.
Got the posing part down. He's on his way.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from the USA, Keon Pearson.
Keon was working with Flex Wheeler, I think it was a year or so ago. But like a lot of athletes, sometimes you want to find out what you can do on your own, and then maybe try to find out what you can do with someone else. So you have that opportunity to mix things up. Not everybody's training style suits your interests. So let's see what he's bringing to the stage. Young guy, plenty of potential.
Strong, sweepy thighs. Look at them. Great, great vacuum pose.
And big, solid biceps.
You have to say he's looking at top 5.
Yeah, he's legit from head to toe. He's got the calves. His skin color glistens with that oil when he hits the pose. Is great. See the intercostals coming in. And that bicep, he's playing to his strength. The tricep is strong. Let's see what his back looks like. He's got the hamstrings.
Didn't really hit it right there.
No.
Here we go.
He still needs some maturity. He's a young kid. So that back's got to ripen up and mature just a little bit. That comes with time and with years of training.
I think there's another gentleman I think I would like to see potentially go up into the 212. The only question is that how much muscle can he carry on his frame with being such obviously a short guy. But he looks to me as a hybrid. You know, he's got a bodybuilding shape, but ultimately he hits certain poses like that vacuum.
Like that, classic.
Really comes alive as a classic bodybuilder.
Absolutely.
Well, that really makes you wonder, you know, I wasn't there for weigh-ins. Like most guys in Classic, is he topping out his weight for height ratio, or does he have a little bit more room in this class?
I would say he's probably topping off. I think we'd say he's probably been struggling to get into that class.
Thank you, Keon.
You also got to remember the mindset. When you say classic physique, these guys are
Ladies and
sculpting their
gentlemen,
bodies,
please
not
welcome from
building
the
their bodies,
USA,
you know?
George Peterson.
A bodybuilder builds. That's what you go in the gym to just get big and strong. These guys are shaping and sculpting. And this guy right here, I mean, I said it last year, he should move into the 212. He'd definitely be a threat.
Well, George was this year's Arnold Classic winner.
And winning a classic physique as big as the Arnold Classic, you stay in the classic. You know, he's found his niche, but he looks like a bodybuilder to me. Nice from elbow to elbow. All of the meat and potatoes are there. Tiny waist. Short Kai Green-like torso. We're talking about that, about Williams. But you can see how flat his stomach wall is and how round the quadriceps are.
Brought a great level of conditioning him and his coach. They've done a really great job again, showed consistency, so it shows that they really working well together as an athlete and coach.
You know, I'm really a firm believer about the stomach. It's the focal point of the physique. And you'll notice on all of these physique guys, classic physique guys, their stomach, they keep it tight, they keep it right throughout the transitions and everything else. That's what I'd like to see brought back to open bodybuilding.
Here's the all-important back shots. Detail.
Yeah, he's got some lats too. You look how low they come down on his lower half. They come all the way to his waist.
This is probably the best I think I've seen George possibly.
The beautiful back double by.
He's got it all. You see the traps, you see the delts, you see the abs when he flexes, the feathers on the quadriceps. It's all there. The hamstrings are a little bit slight, but again, we're looking at classic physique. This is not open bodybuilding, so you don't have to have the extreme that we typically look for when we're at the 212 in the open category.
I'd also like to see him step into the 212 division because he's probably weighing in about 192ish, I guess. Height, I'm guessing, thereabouts. So you can see that the more muscle in the right places, his physique is going to look better.
Give him 3 pounds of muscle, and he's going to be a threat.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from the USA, Arash Rabar.
Now, Arash has been posting on his socials as well, and those updates have been pretty impressive, so it's going to be interesting to see how that translates to the stage.
Yeah, I saw Arash in pre-judging, and he brought a better package this year than last year when he stepped on stage. He's made some improvements.
He's another performer. He takes his posing serious.
If I remember rightly, he came second when they introduced the first classic bodybuilding division into the Olympia.
Correct, and then it got overrun with lots and lots of talent, and it's hard to find your place in that pool of talent, but he looks very, very good right now.
I had the chance to meet Arash at the private screening of the movie Bigger a couple years ago, and he was off season, and he was bigger.
Yeah.
He looked like an open bodybuilder under the clothes.
Yeah, he has to suck it down.
That's a beautiful shot.
Good delts, nice hamstrings.
And again, him himself and his trainer Justin, they've done a great job with bringing a level of conditioning to be competitive in this class again.
Any changes, Neil, that you would make?
I think he could be a little sharper and a little fuller in some areas, but to me, he's made some improvements to what he was last year. So to me, there's progression.
Yeah, and I would work on the lower back, try to get some hyperextensions if he's not already doing that, some deadlifts for reps, and work on the lower back, trying to lean that thing out a little bit.
And unfortunately, he's a little straight in his torso, and obviously a little bit more thigh development, a little bit more thickness in the areas.
That classic sweep is so important to get that tiny waist and that big chest.
Well, yeah, you see what he's up against. I mean, there's depth here. There's not a couple of guys that could win this.
I do like his look.
I like his selection of poses. He's going for it. Very nice.
That's a good end.
Wow. Arash Rabar, folks.
All right, thank you, Arash. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from the USA, Danny Unit.
All right, Danny was 6th last year. He was on the bubble. Good placings in 2018.
I feel Danny just missed his peak a little bit soft, a little bit water film running through his physique.
Yeah, that little film can make all the difference in the world, especially in certain poses that other guys are superior in.
I will say the guys with the well-developed rear delts really round out that shoulder cap and really make it look big.
Yeah. And those wide delts and the small waist, that is classic bodybuilding. I like his choice of music. I like the way he's flowing. He's transitioning well. You can see that there's thought and effort which has gone into this.
Right. It's so important in classic physique to keep up with your competitors because they are working on these types of routines. It's got the little karate element to it if you look at it.
You know, Sean, you brought up an interesting name now that rings a bell for me with Danny. He's got a few Bob Paris-esque kind of sweeps and some flow.
Correct.
It's a very natural, very graceful flow.
Which shows you how ahead of the times those guys were. Bob Paris, De La Prada, Francis Infato, Muhammad McAway, Barry DeMay. They took the time to find the right poses that fit their physique. Barry DeMay does that pose right there. And it's refreshing to see these guys because they have to go back and study this. They had to go back to YouTube to find those or go in the old archives of the magazines to see how to show their physique to its finest because they're not getting that from the representatives in the open professional bodybuilding. It's amazing how big his arm swells when he actually flexes it.
Great poser, great routine.
Give it up for Danny Unen. And your final competitor is your two-time reigning and defending Olympia champion from the USA, Breon Ansley.
So is this gentleman going to make it a 3-time title? We will wait and see. But Breon is being consistent with his condition. His condition is definitely his signature. It definitely feels a bit of a hybrid classic bodybuilder in the sense that his physique is different. It's, you know, the shape, the structure, his insertions, his muscle belly is very strong, thick throughout his hamstrings and glutes, conditioned from top to toe.
Yeah, he posted a lot of pictures leading up to this to give us a preview of what was coming. Looks a little bit more flatter than the pictures that he was showing online. Spent some time in Arizona training with the legend Chris Cormier, who's transferred over into training athletes. He works closely with Breon. Breon looks like he has just a little smidgen of too much oil on here tonight. But he is a performer. He knows he comes from the cloth of Chris Cormier and a flex wheeler and the legendary poses before him.
He's taking his time with these movements.
Started out as a bodybuilder. He wanted to be a bodybuilder and jumped into competition and literally saw the welcoming of the classic physique. Didn't win his first time out. Danny Hester won the first one, and then Breon, here he is, going
Guys,
for number 3.
Look at that bicep jumping from that angle. It's sick.
But you have to see athletes like this in the flesh, because it's only when you see them in the flesh you realize how superior they are as athletes.
Right.
The insertions, the detail,
That
the
bicep.
muscle bellies, it's just incredible.
Wow.
And look at those bicep peaks.
Yeah.
And again, that's something we haven't seen from the other competitors, the biceps, but those legs are world class as well. And he's showing his physique off to its fullest. We know now why he's got 2 of those titles at home.
I think it's going to be very difficult to take this title away from this gentleman. I think the nearest person to possibly challenging him, for me possibly, is going to be George, because the level condition of George and his thickness. But it's going to be very difficult.
You notice his music is kind of mixed, and he's flexible too.
Wow.
Taking a page out of Arash by doing those splits.
Beautiful routine.
Give it up for your two-time Olympia champion.
All right, our
Breon
classic
Ansley.
physique guys have a confirmation round of their own. We've seen their
All right,
individual
folks,
posing
our
routines.
judges have broken it down into our top 5. We're going to bring them out on the center line at this time in numerical order. Your first finalist, Chris Bumstead. Chen Kang. Keon Pearson. George Patterson. And Breon Ansley.
And those are the usual suspects that we witnessed at the prejudging that would more than likely be the last man standing.
Big Steve, did the judges require any additional comparisons?
I love seeing Chen Kang out there.
You can see how much muscle George has got compared to those other athletes. But look at every one of them is completely different shape and structure. But George is standing out very much like
Keon
a
and
bodybuilder.
Brandon.
Yes, absolutely.
And Breon switch.
Wow.
You can see just how big George is in this lineup. He looks like a 212 competitor.
And this is one of the beauties of the height and weight requirements, because you do get to see different body
Gentlemen,
shapes.
front double
Yeah, he
bicep.
fits into that category.
That's such a great shape and
Side
structure,
chest.
but that's going to look so much better in the 212.
Yeah, fill him out. Grow into the physique.
Back double bicep.
Here's a telltale right here. This could be the difference between second and third, or we could see another shift.
Yeah, you got to remember, again, it's not a bodybuilding contest. It is a classic physique contest. The criteria is different.
Abdominals and thighs.
We can be more critical when we're looking at bodybuilders in terms of the graininess and the separation, the vascularity. Here we're looking at tie-ins. We're looking at harmony and symmetry and flow. This is a physique contest, not a bodybuilding contest. They can get away with being a little softer in areas that a bodybuilder can't.
Thank you, gentlemen. Relax. Back to you, Bob.
And dare I use the word
Big
beauty,
Steve.
but we're looking for beautiful physiques here.
We absolutely are.
Where you going? I don't think so. Gentlemen, for the title.
They got to do a pose down.
Pose down.
Got to do a pose down.
Absolutely.
Crank up that music.
You got to earn that paycheck, baby. And it's more this year than it was a year ago.
I feel Breon's look again is just maybe a little bit too strong for the athletes. Personally, I would have Breon first, then George, and then Chris. That's what I'd have the top three.
Not a bad prediction. Again, it's being judged live right now because the judges are finalizing their decisions from the earlier prejudging and what we saw earlier tonight. So this is not over until it's over.
Now, there is a big difference between first and second prize-wise. It's the difference not only between bragging rights and being the Olympia title holder, but between $35,000 and $12,000. So it's a $23,000 difference.
Yeah, you know, they know that all too well because what they would do with that prize money more than likely is reinvest it to come back, and hopefully it increases next year.
We know the fanship for this, the fandom for Classic Physique is growing, as are the number of competitors across the country in the NPC.
Thank you very much, guys.
Trying to make their way up into the IFBB.
Well, we know this is a very popular division. At every contest,
All right, folks.
the numbers are getting
Results
higher and
on
higher.
We are ready for our top 5 awards. Presenting the 5th place award, once again, Executive Editor of Muscle and Fitness, Mr. Zach Ziegler. Zach will take the 5th place award, the check for $2,000, and present it to Chen Kang.
Chen Kang, the first Chinese athlete to make it to the Olympia stage now, is a top 5, a medal winner, and a check winner. Congratulations to Chen Kang.
Absolutely nothing to hang his head down about. This could be the start of some big things to come, not only for China, but actually the industry as a whole. You bring in different types of sponsors with these different types of athletes.
Presenting the 4th place award, representing Allmax. Let's have Kevin back on stage. Kevin will take the 4th place award, the check for $3,000, and present it to Keon Pearson.
Okay.
If I had to guess, I think Keon's probably the youngest guy in that lineup. Just looking at the guys, I mean, he looks like a baby. But with the most potential. He's got a great structure, very slight in height, but he did very well here tonight. Got nothing to hang his head down.
Yeah, I think Breon's 22, 23, or 24.
There you go, 22, 23. Yeah, great start.
Presenting the 3rd place award, representing Performix, is Mr. Randy Lloyd.
Now, will it be Chris or will it be George? It could be Breon.
Randy,
Could
please
be
take
Breon.
the 3rd place award, the check for $5,000, the Olympia bronze medal, to our 3rd place finisher, George Peterson.
There you have it.
Again, George has taken a very solid 3rd place. Really solidified his place in the industry as being one of the top classic athletes in the world. Obviously won the classic Arnold early on in the year.
That's a huge jump doing both of those shows. one in March and one in September, and winning one and getting third. So he's legitimately one of the top 3 classic physiques on the planet.
And potentially stayed dialed in for over, 9 months. 3 months out from the Arnold.
Very hard
Once
to
again,
do.
presenting the
Good
second
observation.
place award. And Jake will take the second place award, the check for $10,000, the Olympia silver medal, to our runner-up this evening, Breon Ansley.
Oh, my goodness.
We have a new champion.
And I can hear the crowd roaring from here. I was wrong on my prize award amounts, but I was right on the difference. $30,000 for top, and second place was 10. Third place was 5.
Well, let me tell you something. Breon never saw this coming because he has carried that title for 2 years around his neck like a true champion and a reflection of a champion. But what do champions do when they get knocked down?
They come back hard.
Absolutely. It's going to make things a whole lot more interesting a year from now.
Presenting the first place award is CEO Greg Conley from Trifecta, IFBB Pro League President Mr. Jim Mannion. They will take the first place award, the check for $30,000, the Olympia gold medal, and the title of 2019 Classic Olympia champion, Chris Bumstead.
And there it is.
There's been quite a rumble amongst the fans who would be.
Well, let me tell you, the social media is going to be on fire tonight. Whenever a defending champion gets taken out, everyone comes with their opinions, and we equally look forward to seeing what the fans have to say about an upset. You can see the agony and the ecstasy here. Bumstead on the brink of tears, and, well, Breon passing the torch.
Well, Breon should be
All
proud.
right, guys, let's get some pictures, please. Your favorite classic pose.
Breon should be proud of what he's represented in the industry over the last 2 years.
He did set a standard.
Well, he's not done by a long shot, so a subjective sport of opinion in these
All right,
poses.
thank you, guys.
They both could have represented that title very well, and now we're going to get a new flavor from Chris Bumstead representing Canada. When's the last time we had a Canadian Olympian? I'm not so sure. I got to go to the archives to remember. Maybe these guys listening out there will hit us up on Instagram or on Facebook or somewhere and let us know the last Canadian Olympia champion.
Is Whitney Jones Canadian?
No, I know she's from Arizona.
Okay, she's from Chandler, Arizona.
Yeah, that's right.
I know Chris is going to be a great representative for this classic division. He travels the world
All
a
right,
lot with
thank
his
you, gentlemen.
sponsors.
We're going to have the champ stay right there in the center.
See, I'm a history buff. I'm real curious now. Who was the last Olympia from Canada?
All right,
there was
here
none.
with the
We got our
new
first.
Classic Olympia champion, Chris Bumstead. How's that sound, brother?
You don't even know how good that sounds right now.
Now, Chris, I'm told it was very, very close right till the end. But at the end of the day, it was the mustache that brought it in.
You know, I was debating last year for the longest time, and it got the better of me. But I don't think I was ready to rock the stash on stage. But this year it felt right, you know, had to be done.
It's classic.
Classic, it is. Bringing it back. New era.
Well, you have brought in a new era, my friend. Now, you've got a huge amount of support out there in the bodybuilding world the last couple of years. This finally got Breon because he's a hell of a champion.
Oh my God, yeah, Breon he's a champion that I've been chasing after for a few years now, and I'm grateful to have blessed the stage along with him, along with his 35 other competitors here today. It's absolutely crazy the growth that Classic Division has had in only a few years of being around. So I gotta thank the IFBB, Jim Mannion, Olympia putting on such an amazing show. It's really just so grateful to have given us the opportunity to present our physiques in such a new / old school way, kind of bringing it back, defining what classic physique is, what it is, this division is going to become. It's going to be around for a long ass time because I know you guys love it, I love it, and we put on a damn good show. So thank you guys so much.
All right, Chris. The Classic Olympia title goes back to Canada. Well, not back to Canada, but back with you to Canada. Back with you to Canada. Okay. Unless you're moving here.
We'll see. I love my Canadians. Canada, we brought it home. Proud.
Give it up for the champ, Chris Bumstead, your classic Olympia champion.